Hey team, Dave here for another Blu-ray DVD collection update haul. This one is for all the extra stuff that I picked up for myself over the month of September 2021. Now, the exciting thing here is this is the first video for the Dave Lee Down Under Extra channel. This is going to be the home going forward for all of the more niche content that I've been producing that doesn't perform as well as like my cartoon evolutions or cartoon news, etc, etc. It's all going to kind of live over in its own little space over here for the health of my main channel, and essentially I'm going to be splitting the hauls into a number of different videos every month now. So all the stuff that I get from the distributors or the new releases is going to go in one video, and then stuff I personally picked up myself through hauls, JB Hi-Fi, Amazon, etc. are going to be in their own videos as well. This is kind of to keep a little bit more content going out on this channel and to also get the length of the haul videos down, because sometimes they're like an hour and 15 minutes. It's just far too long. So this video right here is all the stuff that I personally picked up in the month of September 2021. Whole bunch of 4K discs, a whole bunch of stuff from JB Hi-Fi, a couple other boxes down there which I'm going to go grab. Let's get into it. Alright, so as I said, this video right here is all of the stuff that I've personally picked up myself over the last month. I have previously covered all the stuff sent into me from the distributors. I uploaded that on my main channel, Dave Lee Down Under. That was just kind of the last one that I wanted to drop over there to give people the heads up to move over to this channel. You're here now, which is great, and we're going to take a look at all of this stuff here, which is very cool. Alright, so first up we're going to take a look at some stuff from JB Hi-Fi. They've done a couple of really great deals, a couple of really great sales recently. I think maybe they're struggling a bit during the pandemic. They're trying to push as much stuff out as they can. A couple of weeks ago they did a buy two get one free sale, and then on top of that they had like 30% off or 25% off or something like that. So I spent big as soon as that extra like percent sale came out. Obviously you could stack it on top, and I took my advantage to buy a bunch of 4Ks and some Blu-rays that I was looking forward to as well. It was buy two get one free on all movies. TV shows weren't included. Now all these 4K discs essentially came to what was about $10 each. So we're going to go through these really quickly. There's not too much to say, but we've picked up a bunch of 4Ks, mostly ones that I've been kind of putting off for a little while, actually. So first up is Scarface. These are, I think all of these are actually upgrades from that I do have on Blu-ray, and I'm upgrading to 4K. Scarface, Al Pacino, one of the all-time classic gangster movies, which I love. It's been a very long time since I've seen it. Apparently the transfer on this is absolutely stunning, so I can't wait to check that one out again. Just a really great Brian De Palma movie, so we're going to watch that again very soon. I got Beverly Hills Cop, one of my favorite comedies of all time. I also picked up Coming to America, also one of my favorite comedies of all time. I just love Eddie Murphy, and apparently these both look great as well. They have, of course, gone back and rescanned the original elements in 4K. You know, a lot of 4K stuff sometimes isn't just about, you know, big explosive blockbusters that look nice and explosive and colorful and stuff. It's about just really appreciating these great movies for the, you know, the piece of cinema that they are, and just watching them in their kind of purest cinematic form. So I'm really, really excited. Apparently these both look really fantastic. I haven't dived into a lot of just these comedy movies, but when I can pick them up for like $10, $12, I'm happy to do that, particularly for two of my favorites. I need to go and pick up the Ghostbusters ones. I don't have them yet, and Groundhog Day. I need to get to them on probably the next sale. This one right here, Collateral, of course, Tom Cruise, Jamie Foxx. So one of my favorite movies from the time this came out, like 2004. I was like very early high school. This is probably like the first MA movie I got to see at the cinemas, or maybe I tried to get a ticket and they wouldn't let us go and see it. I can't remember, but I remember seeing it at the time and just loving it. I loved it, so much fun. This movie was actually shot in HD. This was one of the first movies that was like shot in HD, digital, like 1080p HD. So it's of course an upscale to 4K, but it's such a colorful, just beautifully visceral movie that apparently it looks stunning in the format. And this one is going to be all about the colors, and I can't wait to watch this movie again. It's been a very, very, very long time. These two right here, the early Tomb Raider movies with Angelina Jolie. I love these. I haven't watched these in years either. I believe the first one was shot on film. They've remastered that from the original film elements, and it's supposed to look really gorgeous. The second one was shot digitally, so it's kind of a digital upscale. Apparently it doesn't look as good, but it's supposed to look quite nice anyway. And if you pick up the first one, you're going to get the second one anyway. I do have the kind of more recent one, the one with Alicia Vikander, and I love that one too. So actually, it's been so long since I've seen this, and I need to check them out. And like at like 10, 11, 12 bucks, like I've got to get them. These two I was very excited to get as well because I've been sleeping on them for a while. It is the two Matrix sequels, Matrix Reloaded and Matrix Revolutions. I've owned the first one for a long time. I think I got that for like $1 when Amazon Australia first launched. They were giving away stuff for like dirt cheap. And then I just sat on these for ages. But with the fourth movie coming out really soon, I'm going to want to rewatch them all. And I'm going to have to watch them in 4K. I believe they were all shot on film. And they've all been completely remastered from the original elements. And apparently, like I've seen the transfer on the first one, which is just one of the best 4K transfers in the market for a catalogue title. And if these two are anything like that, they're going to look really fantastic. So I'm very excited to get my hands on the Matrix films. And finally, this is the most recent release that I got. It's Speed. This is one of very few 4K catalog titles, particularly live-action ones that Disney has pushed out. They haven't really been doing many. This is, of course, an older Fox title that Disney acquired during the Fox buyout. Everyone knows what Speed is. It's an early 90s thriller starring Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock, where they're in this bus and it's rigged with explosives, and if they go over a certain speed or go under a certain speed, the bus explodes. Just a stupid, fun, dumb 90s thriller. I don't really know much about the transfer of this. I believe it's a rescan, and it should look nice. It's one of my favorite like thrillers from that era, so I had to pick that one up. Okay, so and one last 4K title that I picked up in this sale was Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Oh, it's a new one that's just come out. It's a special edition. Comes with a whole bunch of I love it right there. One of my favorite movies ever. I paid probably a little bit too much for this. I think it was like $75 full retail, but with the 25% off, I think I was like $60. And then got a couple of other things with it, of course, part of the buy two, whatever. It's got I believe this is being released separately, maybe this month, next month, so you can just get the standard non-limited special edition on the Australian market if you don't want to pay up for this big thing right here. But I love this movie and I just wanted to get this special edition. It's got a little book with it, all that stuff. This should look stunning. Again, one of my favorite movies of all time, and it should just look really, really great. I think there's just like a bunch of photo cards in there. I don't go full into that, but yeah, I'm keen. I'm sorry that I haven't been able to tell you exactly what these all look like, but I just haven't had the time to watch them. But I'm very excited to dive into this. And if it's anything like the Warner Brothers like classic back catalogue stuff that's been released recently, this is just going to look amazing. I love that shit right there. And that's just a nice little piece to have in the collection. Okay, these two titles were part of the buy two, get one free plus 20% off sale as well. Picked up the Cannonball Run 2. It's one I've been putting off for so long because Cannonball Run 1 is not available on the local market, and I've just been waiting to see if they put the first one out. I hate buying like the second one and then you can never get the first one, or like vice versa, but I had to pick this one up. It's a Burt Reynolds just stupid comedy fast movie from the I guess 70s, 80s, like around that time. Whole cast of just famous faces, and they're doing little cameos and stuff too. Sammy Davis Jr., a whole bunch of others in there too. I'm looking forward to seeing that, but I gotta get the first one. And I think I've seen the first one a long time ago, but I want to watch them both. That's an older Umbrella release. So I finally got that one. And finally, it's one I've been waiting for so long, The Way We Were. This is an older Viavision release from a number of years ago. I never picked it up, and then it went out of print, and they've just put it back in print. So if you're someone who's after this, you can get this again. The Way We Were, it stars Robert Redford and Barbara Streisand. Never seen it. Don't know if I'm going to love it. It's a Sidney Pollack movie. I mean, I love pretty much everyone who's involved in this. I think it's going to be good. Like, it's a classic romance movie. So I think it's going to be my thing. I love Robert Redford, particularly. His movies are just wonderful. So I'm keen to dive into that. I'm going to be watching that as soon as possible. I might even watch it like the day after I'm filming this. I also picked up these. These were not part of like the buy two, whatever, but they did have that 25% off on top of them. I think they were like $12 originally, so I've just paid, I don't know, I'm terrible with math, maybe like $8 each. I don't know, very cheap. Big Little Lies, terrific HBO program. I've watched the first season, which I just absolutely love. Nicole Kidman, Reese Witherspoon, Shailene Woodley. And then there's the second season, which I think I watched some of, but didn't watch all of it. So I'm keen to kind of dive through it again. But for that cheap, I had to buy it because I really love that show. The second season's got Meryl Streep in it. So keen to see how that one goes. All right, some more JB Hi-Fi pickups. These are from the more recent sale, which is still running at the moment. It's running until the end of October. It's a buy one, get one free on select movies. And it just so happened pretty much everything that I was after as far as like newer release titles was part of this sale. So I just spent up big time. Amazon is also running the same sale, and I've got some on order through them, but it's taking a while for them to send them out, even on Amazon Prime. It's been about a week. I don't know what's going on, but we'll get them for the next video. We'll go through these very quickly. We've got The Courier with Benedict Cumberbatch and Rachel Brosnahan. Really love this. I watched this one last night. Really great. A true story. Cold War spy thriller about the two guys who were like covert spies who were working for the CIA and the Soviet. Well, there's a Soviet spy and a British spy who joined forces to kind of put an end to the Cuban Missile Crisis. So they were filtering out information to the US government to stop the Cuban Missile Crisis, well, the missiles and stuff. They helped, you know, stop that thing. Anyway, I really love that. I thought it was great. One of Benedict Cumberbatch's best performances, I think. I really love that. The less said about this one, the better. It's Doolittle with Robert Downey Jr. It's one of the weirdest movies I've ever watched, particularly in more recent memory. It's just one of those movies where you kind of think, why did I make this? Well, it's a dumb fun. I think the audience that it's made for, kids are probably going to love it. There's a lot of like poo jokes and fart jokes and stuff, and kids will love that kind of thing. But even Robert Downey's performance in this is just really bizarre, and they dubbed his voice the entire movie. I don't know why. It's just weird. So many weird things about it. But, I mean, check it out if you're interested in it. We got Boss Level, which is like an action thriller sci-fi thing starring Frank Grillo, Mel Gibson, and Naomi Watts. Apparently, this is very, very good. It doesn't sound great or look great, but it's got great ratings, so I'm keen to check that one out. We've got Wild Mountain Time, which is like a romantic comedy drama kind of thing, starring Emily Blunt and John Hamm and Jamie Dornan and Christopher Walken. Really good cast, hasn't got great reviews, but it's the kind of thing that I really love. And I'm very keen to check that one out. That's a Madman release, actually. Greenland is one that I just picked up too. It's this is like a not a post-apocalyptic, it's like an apocalyptic movie where there's all these kind of meteors coming down and Gerard Butler has to save himself and his family and predictably the world, maybe. I don't know. But I'm looking forward to that. Apparently it's good. It's got good ratings and stuff. It's from the producer of the John Wick franchise. So I'm very much looking forward to that one there. Also got Nomadland. Really loved this. I checked this one out when it came to Disney Plus, like the day it landed on Disney Plus, and it was out on Blu-ray like a couple of weeks later. I kind of wish I had waited. But it's Frances McDormand. It's a Chloe Zhao film, and I adored it, so I did have to buy this one and own it. And it's just a really visually beautiful movie that I know I will, and narratively beautiful movie that I know I'll go back to multiple times. So I had to own that on Blu-ray. I should say most of these I think cost about $10. I think these were all about $10 as well. Judas and the Black Messiah. Saw this in cinemas and absolutely adored it. Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield deliver two of the greatest performances from the year. Absolutely wonderful movie about this thief turned FBI informant who infiltrates the Black Panther Illinois division from memory back in the 1960s. Such a terrific, just loaded, powerful movie. I loved it. I can't wait to check that one out again. Also, Jesse Plemons is in there too, who's always just wonderful in everything he does, and Martin Sheen. So, love that so much. I can't wait to watch it again. Picked up this one, Tom and Jerry the movie. Wasn't the best, but I actually had a lot of fun with this one, and I just had to own it because it's Tom and Jerry, and I'm gonna have it with my like animation collection and put it with my classic Tom and Jerry Blu-ray, whatever else. It's fun. I love Chloe Grace Moretz and Michael Pena, and those are the two best ones that were in the movie. And Tom and Jerry. Oh, Ken Jeong is in there too. Enjoyed that. I had to pick it up, and for like $10, why not? The Marksman. This is a new Liam Neeson movie. I'm not going to expect too much from this. Probably just going to be standard run-of-the-mill Liam Neeson Avengers something or other, but I always love them, so I'm keen to check that one out. Willy's Wonderland, not normally my kind of movie. Nick Cage, kind of B-grade, C-grade horror, indie horror kind of thing, where he ends up fighting off a bunch of demonic animatronics or something. Not usually my kind of thing, but again, rave reviews on this one, so I have to see it. It's only like 80 minutes, so it's a short and easy watch, I think. Keen to get into that one when I get a chance. And High Ground, which is an Australian movie set against the stunning landscapes of 1930s Arnhem Land. High Ground chronicles young Aboriginal man Gutjuk, who, in a bid to save the last of his family, teams up with an ex-soldier to track down the most dangerous warrior in the territory. Very, very, very keen on this one. It looks amazing. It's got great ratings and all that stuff. I love Aussie cinema. I love to support it as much as I can. So I've got to check this one out. It's got Simon Baker, Jack Thompson, and introducing Jacob Jr. Nyangul. So very keen to see that movie. It's just love that kind of Australian thing. And finally from that bundle is Chaos Walking. I've heard some pretty average things about this. It's Tom Holland, Daisy Ridley, Nick Jonas is in there, Mads Mikkelsen, Damien Bashir, Cynthia Erivo, and David Oyelowo. Just like a terrific cast, but I've heard really average things. It's like a sci-fi thing with like time portals and, I don't know, big scale action fantasy. I'm keen to see it. I'm very keen to see it. I love the entire cast. I love the concept of it. I'm going to see it, make up my own mind. I really hope I like it. Here's a couple I picked up on Amazon recently. These weren't part of any like kind of deal. They were just cheap. I think it might have coincided with the first JB Hi-Fi sale, but because JB Hi-Fi didn't have them, I bought them through Amazon for like, I think like $5 each. Streets of Fire is one that I'd never really heard of before. It's kind of like a cyberpunk rock and roll movie from the 1980s, very early 1980s. It's got Michael Parr, Diane Lane, Willem Dafoe. It's got E.G. Daly, the voice of Tommy Pickles, Amy Madigan, of course, Rick Moranis, Bill Paxton. It's a really great cast. They're all very, very young in it, though. It's really hard to describe it. This guy is hired by his ex-partner's current boyfriend to track her down after she is kidnapped by this ruthless gang. It's kind of like a fusion of like 1950s, 1980s styles, like the costumes and the cars and everything. It's just kind of like a mash of different kind of genres and eras. It's just such a really wonderful movie. I loved it. I'd highly recommend this if you can pick it up. It's one that I'd never really heard of before, but it's one that I feel like probably should be well known. I guess it's just one that's just lived on as a cult classic. Definitely recommend picking that one up. That's one from Shock. It's part of their cinema cult range. The Core, don't know much about this, but again, it was like $4 or $5. I wanted to pick it up. Aaron Eckhart, Hilary Swank, Delroy Lindo. I believe this came out, was this the one that came out the same year as Armageddon? Or am I thinking of Deep Impact? No, but it's a very similar, like, end of the world kind of apocalyptic thing where some apocalyptic stuff was going on and then Aaron Eckhart and Hilary Swank have to save the day and Delroy Lindo. Don't really know much about it. Apparently it's not great, but it was cheap and I want to see it. And finally, I got The Witches. Roald Dahl's The Witches. Again, another one that just really did not perform very well. People were saying it was not very great. But I love Roald Dahl. I love Anne Hathaway, Octavia Spencer, Stanley Tucci. They're all great, really great cast. I love the original novel. It's one I read as a kid, and I'm just keen to check that one out. I've got to check out all the Roald Dahl stuff that gets put out into the world. A few more Australian releases. These are ones that I've picked up on eBay recently. Some out-of-print stuff that I was really excited to get my hands on. Anger Management, of course, Jack Nicholson and Adam Sandler, just one of Adam Sandler's like last really decent movies. So very excited to upgrade that from DVD to Blu-ray. I think I only paid like $10 for that, which is really good. All of these I only paid like $5 or $10 for, and they're all out of print, so I was very excited that I got some good deals. Brand New Day, this is an Australian like musical comedy, which is inspired by Aboriginal culture. It's got Jessica Mauboy in there, Ernie Dingo, Missy Higgins, Jeffrey Rush. It just looks like a nice, light, lively movie, and I'm keen to check that one out. Backyard Ashes, Australian movie about these two guys that are kind of at war with each other, and they sort it out the best way they can to play a game of backyard cricket. Watched this last night. It's actually a bit of fun. Wasn't great, but it's kind of, enjoyable enough. The kind of thing you would expect from a stupid Aussie movie. I dropped the other one. It's this one right here. It's called The Gingerbread Man. Never heard of this one, but I bought that along with Backyard Ashes from the same person because I saw he had it in the store. Kenneth Branagh, Embeth Davidtz, Robert Downey Jr., Daryl Hannah, Tom Berenger, and Robert Duvall. Like, huge cast. and I'm keen to see it. Again, a 90s thriller that I've never watched, and I'm so excited to dive into. So yeah, very excited to get my hands on that one, and fairly cheaply. My biggest catalogue score this month is this one. It's a great Australian series from the early 2000s, mid-2000s, Real Stories. This is the first series Hamish and Andy did. Little sketch comedy show. It's like takes on the form of a news show, and it's just, they take the piss out of it. It's so much fun, great little sketch comedy. This one is one that has been out of print for a long time. I'm a huge Hamish and Andy fan, and this is the only Hamish and Andy DVD I didn't own. It's usually on eBay for like $50, people trying to flog it off for crazy money. Someone had it up for like $30, and I made a ridiculous offer, which was like $15. I expected him to haggle with me for a bit, but he gave it to me for, no, maybe it was $12. $12, plus the shipping came to like around $15, and he accepted it. So I was very happy. Like I was like, yes! I finally got it. I'm so excited to have that, and I got to watch that all again. Such a great show. And finally, we just got a bunch of stuff here that I've imported from overseas. This is another eBay buy, actually. The Golden Compass. This was like $4. I think I paid like $4 for this. It's out of print here in Australia. It's one that I was always like arming and ahhing about getting on Blu-ray because apparently it's not very good. But I finally was, for some reason it came up on my radar recently. I was like, I want to try and track down a copy. Like $4 or $5 on eBay, and it arrived. I did not expect it to come in the slipcover at all. It's a bit damaged. Maybe that's why it was so cheap, but that's all right. I did not expect it to come in the slipcover. And this is like a 2-disc edition, 2-disc extended edition or something, with a bunch of bonus features and stuff. I was very excited to get that, and for so cheap. In the slip, like what a score, so good. That came from the UK, by the way. Someone in the UK is probably at a deficit because they sold that so cheaply and then sent it to Australia. These two I also got from the UK. I bought these on eBay as well, actually, but they were brand new. Just a couple of like, you know, I love my nature docos. This is a BBC. This is just a film. I think it's like 50 minutes about penguins. Snow Chick, A Penguin's Tale. It's narrated by Kate Winslet, so I had to get that. Looked quite good. And then this one here is actually an Channel 5 documentary, Wild Britain, which is narrated by Hugh Bonneville. Michael Sheen did another one. I got to try and get my hands on that. But yeah, this is kind of like about rural Britain, Britain's wildlife. So I'm very keen to check that out too. Now, a bunch of stuff I got from Amazon US, and we'll round the video out, I think, yeah. These were all bought because I had Amazon Prime over the month, and there was just a bunch of stuff I wanted to pick up. October Sky, this is a movie I watched in school, and I hated it because we watched it over and over again and had to study it and you know, pick it apart and all that kind of stuff. It's got Jake Gyllenhaal, Laura Dern, Chris Cooper, whole bunch of others in there as well. But it's a movie that I kind of want to... It's directed by Joe Johnson, who's a terrific filmmaker. This is a movie that, you know, is a critically lauded film, but a lot of people really love it. I think it was just because I was very young at the time. We had to pick it apart. I was really off it. But it's something I do want to reassess because from what I do remember of it, I think back and like, yeah, actually, it's quite a good movie. It was like $8. You can get some really good deals on Amazon Global Store every now and then. So I picked that one up. Actually, most of the time, Amazon Global Store stuff is really quite cheap. Another one from the Global Store, Empire Records. I think I paid maybe $12 for this. It's a movie that I've wanted to see forever. Apparently, it is absolutely amazing. It's got a stacked cast. I love these kind of 90s indie coming-of-age movies. It's a 20th Century Fox one, and I know Disney's putting a lot of these out of print, so I thought, while I can still get this and get it so cheaply, I'm going to get my hands on it, so I'm really, really excited to have a look at that one. This one right here as well is one I've been wanting to see for a very long time, Wild Things. Matt Dillon, Kevin Bacon, Neve Campbell. Apparently it's very good, just like a great thriller from the early 90s as well, which I love these, late 90s actually, but I love these kinds of things, so I'm going to check that one out. If it's anything like that one with Sarah Michelle Gellar, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but I love that one, so I think I'm going to love this too. And a couple of Warner Archive Collection titles. We've got Chain Lightning, starring Humphrey Bogart and Eleanor Parker. Bogart is my favourite actor of all time. This is one I've actually never seen, so I was very keen to get this on Blu-ray. A lot of Bogart stuff's hitting Blu-ray recently, which is really, really cool. So very excited to get my hands on this one. Umbrella just released The Harder They Fall. They're about to release like a Bogart double feature with Tokyo Joe and something else. And then there's also, I think it's Tokyo Joe. And then there's also, I think, Criterion is about to release High Sierra. Was it Criterion or I think it was Criterion. So anyway, I'm very keen. I'm keen to check that one out. I hope the Warner Archive put out some more Bogart Blu-rays because they have so many great Bogart movies they haven't released yet. And of course, I picked up the latest in the Hanna-Barbera collection that they've been doing, which is the Herculoids. I think I paid like $21 for that. Probably a bit more, but that's like the cheapest you can get these Warner Archive movies for these days. Previously, you could get them for like maybe $17, $18, but $21 seems to be the cheapest you can get them for now. And the Herculoids, I paid maybe $40 for this because these don't often go down in price very much. But this is our entire series of the Herculoids from Hanna-Barbera. Great series from, I guess, what was like the 1960s. And I've only ever seen little bits and pieces of this, but I'm keen to check it out. And I'm sure I'll cover them someday in a video and put that with my Hanna-Barbera collection, and very excited. At that, guys, that is it for this little video right here. And I've been recording for 35 minutes, so I'm very happy that I did split up this month's video, and I'm going to be doing this going forward. Once again, you are here on the Dave Lee Down Under Extra channel. If you could hit that subscribe button down below and keep up to date with all these videos I'm going to be uploading over here, moving them away from the second channel, again, just for the health of that channel over there. I really appreciate it. So, thanks again for watching. See you on the next one. Take it easy. Hey everyone, if you haven't yet, smash that big old subscribe button up on your screen to keep up to date with all my content, and hit that like button down below. Also, don't forget to check me out on social media, and please consider supporting me over on Patreon for as little as $1 a month for exclusive videos, early access content, and to get your name up on the screen. Thanks again for watching.